I am driving a wedge between a son and his mother, and I'm not concerned. My daughter, 18F, and soon-to-be SIL, 18M, are expecting a child early next year. My husband and I, M, felt this was not a good decision at all, but it's made and we are supportive. They both don't work full-time and in many ways not ready to raise a kid, but we decided we will help best we can. Our SIL is a kind and hardworking young man with a big heart. He is great with our daughter. But the more we got to know him, the more we were realizing his mother was taking advantage of him. Since he was 15, she charged him rent and board. They share a small 1 BDRM and she charged him $1,000 per month for room and board. The apartment rent is $1,200. When she got a car for him to use, she started charging him $800 for car and insurance. When he turned 18, she raised his room and board to $2,000/month or leave. We learned this not just from him, but several other adult reliable sources. She has a reputation with school and family. In spite of all this, he has saved up over $10K over the years. Like I said, he's hardworking. Because he was only making $2,000/month after taxes and needed to save up to start raising a kid, that was untenable, and she knows it. We let him move into my detached office, has a futon, microwave and mini fridge, in exchange for yard work. We will rent them both our MIL unit. We live in a duplex, one is 3 BDRM hours, one is 1 BDRM, at a much reduced rate at least for the first year, $600/month. His mother expressed to him her displeasure that he was abandoning her for another family. So much in fact, when she went to the hospital in an emergency, she refused to let him visit. Just a couple weeks ago, he learned that she cut off his cell service and his health insurance without notice. So, we went with him to help him set up a new mobile account, a new bank account. She had access to his and was taking money out, and help him set up insurance. His job does not provide it. We also took him to the post office and set up a change of address form. When we were setting up his new mobile account, we learned his mother was charging him $200/month to be on her plan. She said it was for the phone, service, and insurance. We set up a new joint account for $110/month for him and our daughter. Apparently, she learned of all this from his brother, who knew SIL was doing this and supportive. When she was complaining to him that she didn't have bank access, no mail was coming to the house and he wasn't paying her for phone and insurance, which, was free Medicaid. She sent us a message that we were driving a wedge between her and her son. I wrote her a note saying that we were only helping him become independent because he was about to have a family. Nothing more, nothing about how I felt about her taking advantage of him, etc. We actually encourage him to keep contact with his mother, call and/or visit regularly, which he does several times a week. He loves her in spite of all this. I did tell SIL's brother that I am unconcerned that she feels we are driving them apart, that we are helping SIL do what is best for him and his soon-to-be daughter and wife, and paying his mother thousands a month, or her taking it from his account, was not the best for him. I'm the oldest daughter who always had to handle it all, and now I don't want my family at my graduation. I'm the oldest and only girl in the family. One of those super independent, self-sufficient types, probably because my mom was an alcoholic most of my life, so I had to help raise my younger siblings. As soon as I turned 18, I left my mom and stepdad's house to move in with my boyfriend. My parents got divorced, my mom went to prison for drugs, and my stepdad moved to another state with my youngest brother. After the dust settled, I was standing around like that John Travolta meme, like, where'd everyone go? I think everyone assumed I'd be fine on my own because I've always been resourceful and independent. I guess they were right, but geez. Since then, my boyfriend, now husband, and I have worked our butts off. We have 2 kids together. Neither of my parents were present for any part of the pregnancy, birth, or postpartum period. I don't think they've even met my second child. They weren't there when I got my first apartment. Or when I got married. They weren't there when we struggled with finances and our mental health. They weren't there for any birthdays or holidays, including their grandchildren's. None of my family was. Not my grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, nada. My husband's family has been incredibly supportive and welcoming, to be clear. And I'm grateful for them every day. Now, I'm finally graduating with my first degree, top of my class, and nominated to speak at both graduation ceremonies. We have the large commencement ceremony for the entire college and a smaller, more intimate pinning ceremony for our nursing cohort. After much thought, I don't think I want my family to attend. There have been so many times that I needed them over the past 10 years, and that even doesn't count their absences during my childhood. And this post is only the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't seem fair that they get to celebrate with me after neglecting to be there for some of the most difficult and transformative years of my life. Plus, I feel like they'd show up and see how well I'm doing and use it as a way to excuse their shitty parenting. Like, hey, she turned out alright, didn't she? We couldn't have been that bad of parents. If you're going to be disrespectful in the cinema, I'll spoil the film for you. This takes place a few years ago. I went to see a film with a friend, but due to a slight mix-up, we'd accidentally booked to see the film twice. I'd booked a Wednesday, he'd booked a Saturday. No issues, we thought. We'd watch the film on Weds and either give the other booking to our friends, or if the film was decent, we'd watch it again. So, off we went on Wednesday. The film was great, we enjoyed it and decided we'd watch it again on Saturday. So, Saturday. We met up, had a drink, and then went to watch the film. There weren't a lot of people in the cinema when we took our seats. There were 3 people in the row in front of us, and some other folks across the aisle and fairly far away. Nobody else around us except these people in the forward row. They were chatting through the trailers, fair enough. Everybody watches those and thinks, oh, that looks great, we should watch that, and then it's all but forgotten when the film cert comes on and the screen opens up. However, these idiots decided to talk fairly loudly through the start of the film, take selfies, including the flash, WTF, and generally be unpleasant to be around. Both my friend and I asked them a few times to be respectful to the other cinemagoers, but this fell on deaf ears. They quite happily said they were enjoying the film in their own way, so stop telling us how to watch a film. I noticed that their antics were drawing some ire from the families on the other side of the aisle, which shows how disruptive they were being. After 20 minutes of being frustrated by selfies, TikToks about how they're finally seeing this film, and general dickery, my friend and I decided to fight fire with fire. We'd seen the film already. We knew the plot twists. We knew the twats in front wanted to watch the film, but to the detriment of everybody else. So, we decided to spoil the film for them. Quietly enough so that nobody else would hear our conversation, but they would. When a character came up, we'd discuss about how they'd die later in the film. Another character, oh yeah, she betrays him at the end to save her family. Oh, that first character? That's plot armor, he'll survive. He's in the after credits scene. After a few comments, the people in front realized we were spoiling the film and got very annoyed. They said we were ruining the film for them. We smiled and said we're just enjoying the film in our own way, so stop telling us how to watch our films. They decided to get a bit more disruptive by throwing stuff around, but were quite swiftly escorted out of the room as one of the parents on the other side had quietly complained to a member of staff. My friend and I weren't implicated in anything, in any way, and we were offered a refund of the film when the staff recognized we'd been in a few days before. We didn't take them up on this, but settled for a free beer instead.